How's it going, guys? Happy Black Friday. This is the Peruvian trucker coming at you with another video. And I'm sorry, guys. I know I said I was gonna go after haters today, but you know, I do want to make one of those videos. Eventually I want to take a crack at some haters because they deserve it, but that's just not me. I mean, it is to a degree. I do have some, you know, perverse thoughts sometimes, but I'm pretty upbeat. I'm having a good time out here. I'm really happy, and I really don't feel like going back and reading shitty comments right now. So we're going to leave that for a later date. I'm coming at you from the Minooka terminal, and you know, I'm happy. Like I said in the last video, I got this load which is pretty much tailored for what I needed, which is swing by the terminal and have my chassis lubricated or whatever, greased. And this load is a drop and hook that technically doesn't deliver until the day after tomorrow, but you know, my appointment is for 6 in the morning. Lubricating the chassis shouldn't be like something that takes a long time, so I'm planning on delivering this load around noon tomorrow and moving to the next one a day early. So yeah, pretty pumped, pretty excited that things are working out. I've seen some snow. This is gonna be embarrassing, but I mean, what else is new? I embarrass myself every day. I was driving yesterday in Ohio to Pennsylvania, and then this morning from Pennsylvania through Ohio, through Indiana, through Illinois. And it didn't take me that long, but halfway through today's drive, halfway through Ohio, you know, it's 40-45 degree weather. It's getting pretty hot. It's starting to get hot in the cab, you know, just because of the sun. And I'm looking at this white stuff like on the edges of the road, and I'm thinking that it's snow. Just let that sink in. I was thinking that was snow, and I'm trying to figure out why is that patch of snow not melting, you know? And eventually in Ohio, or maybe it was in Pennsylvania. I think it was in Ohio, but maybe it was Pennsylvania still. But I drove through one of their, you know, one of the cities or the states like service stations that they have on the side of the road, where they have those like big silos. I think that's what they're called. And the door was open, and I saw the pile of salt in there, and I was like, I'm such an idiot. It's salt. That's why it's salt. And yeah, that was the moment. But other than that, pretty smooth drive. Thankfully it hasn't snowed since 2 nights ago in West Virginia. I took I-77 north from Florida. So, well, I mean, I took it in North Carolina, but you know, on my drive from Florida, I took I-77, and I got a little bit of snow then. I've driven through a bunch of places in Illinois, I-80 on the way here, like entering Illinois, exiting Indiana, that had like piles of snow that didn't get to melt, but the roads were pretty clean and dry. So far so good. We'll see how tomorrow goes. And that's it. I'm just gonna, that's the update. And what you're seeing in this video, like on the dash cam, is what I wanted to share, which is when I was going down to Florida, down home, from Delaware to Florida, I took this route that took me through the Chesapeake Bridge / tunnel. And I didn't know this exists. I mean, I was aware of an engineering accomplishment such as this one, but I didn't know there was one in America. I thought there was one, it was just in Europe that they had this. This is basically a bridge that turns into a tunnel, that turns into a bridge, that turns into a tunnel, that turns into a bridge again. That connects Delaware with, I think it's Virginia. And just beautiful, you know, like endless ocean in both sides, into a tunnel. It was pretty cool. I don't want to imagine what a hurricane or just high winds would be like in this tunnel, in this bridge. But you know, clear skies, beautiful scenery. I loved it. You know, it's one of those places that I want to come back, maybe with the family, just so they can experience it and see, like, the you know, how just, I just like finding this great driving roads, and that's, and I mean, this is a bridge, but it's still like nice, you know, like a nice 20 minutes of just appreciation for the ocean and nature or whatever. So just wanted to share that with you guys in the spirit of, you know, again, being happy and thankful. I don't want to cloud my mind with stupid comments, but we'll leave that for some other time. I'm thinking Christmas, but maybe I'll surprise you before that. And that's it, guys. Again, let me know in the comments if you like the scenery. I'm trying to do more of like the dash cam stuff, because I do want to share them, and there's so many things I don't get to share that I see on the road, but I'm gonna, like, I compile them on my phone, and I just haven't had the time to go back and, you know, mix those videos. So you're gonna be seeing more of that, and yeah, that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
And then, yeah, some people who identify more on the left and were sort of okay with it, and weren't very comfortable with it, but they were okay with it, and they thought that, well, it's just be polite and go along with it. Then they see the film and they hear us talking about it, and they see that this is not something they can countenance. Where does this go, man? Where does this go? Yeah, who would have ever thought we'd be here? Yeah. So where does this go? It's hard because, like I said, it seems as though we've already seen the craziest manifestation of this. So I do think that we move on to, you know, this destruction of reality will continue, and it will get into other forms of identity, and so transracialism, even trans species, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that will happen. And what I'm worried about is for you know, my kids' generation, Gen Z, like, fast forward 20 or 30 years, what does it look like for them? What does that generation look like? What's the suicide rate among Gen Z and the youngest generation in 20 or 30 years? After they've all, you know, so many of them have bought into this, and maybe they've gotten the drugs and surgeries, and then 20 or 30 years hence, what's that? I think we're looking at the suicide rate already is sky high. I think we're looking at a historic, unfathomable epidemic in the future.
Do you think that litigation, do you think that people suing people for having done this to them when they were younger, do you think that in any way would try to right this ship?
I don't think it writes it, but I do think that there needs to be legislation that opens up that possibility, because as it stands right now, people that are the victims of this, they don't really have any legal recourse.
They don't?
I don't think so. This is what I've heard. Essentially they don't. One of the reasons is that yeah, the doctors perform these procedures, but the procedures are illegal to do, and it is ethically and morally it's medical malpractice, but it's not legally medical malpractice because they're allowed to do this to kids.
But they're not allowed to do it to minors, right? Are they allowed to do it to minors?
Well, it depends on what we're talking. The drugs, they're certainly allowed to. Double mastectomies, they're allowed to. And then
genital surgery?
Genital surgeries, it depends on the state and where you are, but there are definitely states where these genital surgeries are happening to minors, absolutely. They're not as common as the drugs and the double mastectomies, but they are certainly happen. But so if it shouldn't be legal, but it is. Doctor does this to you, then what's your legal recourse down the line? That's the problem. That's why the laws need to change, to give people that recourse, to protect kids right now, but then also to give them legal recourse down the line.
When you make a film like this, is this like, how much does this affect like your daily life? I mean, obviously you got engrossed in the subject. How much does this affect your daily life? How much does this affect the way you view the world? And as a parent, like looking at the future and hope for the future, because it seems like this is just one aspect.
I'm done with the chassis lube. They lube up multiple points throughout the chassis. I really don't know which ones they are, but they re-lubed my fifth wheel, so that's good. The one thing that's annoying is that it was 29 degrees earlier, so I dressed up for 29 degrees, and now we're at 45 degrees.